Thanks for being here, Chief, and appreciate your patience as well.
Our pleasure.
So you and I have had a number of conversations and shared electronically some thoughts about the prospect of body cameras for our probation officers in light of the fact that there's a recommendation this budget cycle for our field deputies as well as our park rangers. And maybe just so I can kind of intercept maybe some of the concerns that my colleagues might have or the public or questions. You and I have talked at length about the fact that there would necessarily have to be some nuance to the deployment, given the fact that the roles and responsibilities of probation officers, are different.
Right.
They are sworn personnel. They do respond to critical incidents on occasion. But they also have this charge to really do everything they can to help people keep people from reoffending, and that necessarily means they're going into private residences, and sometimes they're around minors. So, can you just maybe speak a little bit to how you envision, if it's the will of the board, to fund this, how that would be rolled out?
Yeah, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak on this, and I want to thank you, Supervisor Cerna, and others for championing this. This really comes at the suggestion of yourself. It's something I support. I think in this day and age in particular, all of us want to see more accountability and more transparency, and that's something that we want to be a part of. To your question, the particular unique nature of our work that we would want to build into this program, if it's the desire of the board to vote in favor of it, would be to, and I really want to make this clear to the public insofar as they're watching, and really everyone, so that they understand so much of our work as probation officers is conversational, and much of that conversation is about treatment, it's about counseling, it's about personal, confidential information, families, youth, HIPAA-related information, you can imagine. And a big part of our day is engaged in that. We have to, therefore, build into our policy, and I need it to be the expectations of the public that, and I think it's really the expectations of our clients, the probationers themselves who we work with. I think they want that privacy and confidentiality, so we have to build into a policy our ability to appropriately turn off the camera and turn it back on in the right kinds of circumstances. I'm confident that we can work that out. I know that this is not a problem that is unique to probation. The sheriff's deputies will interview clients in a hospital setting, a domestic violence victim, all kinds of settings where they too will have to turn off their cameras. So this is not anything new, but I think just the extent of which we will have to do that, given our job duties, is just something I want to make sure it's baked into the expectations right at the outset, so that everyone understands.
Sure. I appreciate that. And again, as I mentioned, I know the ride-along that I did over 10 years ago, almost 11 years ago with probation, the POs that I were with for a morning, they happened to respond to a critical incident that required both sheriff deputies and POs that were in the area to respond.
Right.
And it was a gun-drawn kind of situation, and there was a suspect that fled on foot and that kind of thing. So again, for those that may not think or understand that our POs are actually engaged in some of those critical incidents, they are. And in fact, testament to that is the fact that on a fairly frequent basis, we see in either the Facebook posts or the newsletters that come out from probation, the fact that your probation officers have been integral to busting some pretty large drug and gun rings here locally too. So again, I appreciate your very careful consideration of this and your thoughtfulness. We appreciate you being here. I don't know if there's any other questions for our chief, but just want to make sure.
Just a comment.
Sure.
I was out with probation before your time, and there were no arrests while I was there, but there were all kinds of other people around, and there were a lot of questions about health and what they were doing and things that you wouldn't. It's a privacy issue, so I'm glad to hear that you can turn the cameras on and off and accomplish that.
Thank you. Yeah, and I appreciate the chair's comments as well. You know, we have over 150 armed officers. We're really one of the largest law enforcement agencies in the region. I'm really proud of the work that they do. It's a testament to their excellence that we don't find ourselves in many uses of forces. But we also know that, you know, and I share your desire to be proactive. Let's not wait until there's a desire for transparency to have that incident on camera. So I do understand and support the desire to move in this direction.
Great. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.